Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. So, there's a lot going on right now, and we have a very important set of things to discuss. So, on some levels, it's nice that it's a small group of people who know what's going on, so that we don't have to backtrack in any capacity. And those who will hear it later will get benefit from it then as well. But there are a few things that we need to look into. Okay?
Yes.
You're coming up, well, you're really in it already, but you're coming up on a very profound energetic portal. We've had a big shift at the end of March. You all probably recollect that one. Mm-hmm. And the result of which was letting go of the rope. And the residual effects of letting go of the rope are still really being understood by each of you. Since then, we've had a lot of very pointed conversations with those of you, most of you here that are here tonight, really detailing just what's going on for you personally in this time because of letting go of the rope, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So now you've let go of the rope, you're a spiritual free agent, you're starting to really understand and experience the idea of being conscious in a radically different way. And last week we spoke at length about the idea that becoming conscious and then staying in a high vibrational state with that trigger, with that disruption that you're experiencing, and then processing it from that high vibrational state rather than letting that habitual response have any play in your life is really what's being asked of you at this time. So with that as sort of our background, it's very important for us to look at what August is going to be about. Now, usually we don't start in the middle of July to talk about August, but it's time to think about prepping for August. Now, this isn't a issue around, oh God, it's going to be so difficult or intense or any of that necessarily. It's really around aligning yourself with the energetics that are coming so that you're ready to take full advantage of what's coming. Because you have a confluence of many different energetic streams gathering themselves. So let's look at the energetic streams first. One, you have a solstice coming up, not a solstice, eclipse, a solar eclipse coming up on the 1st of August. You have the Olympics in China starting on 8/8/8. And later in the month, you have a lunar eclipse around about the 18th of the month. You also have this powerful time of the year in that many of the movers and shakers in your societies happen to be Leos. It's just one of those things that works out when you look at the astrological calendar, that many Leos are in places of leadership. That's one of the qualities of that sign. They're all having their birthdays in this next chunk of time. So a lot of them are going to be in life review. When you have leaders in life review, you tend to get change. Is that understandable? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So if we just look at each of those streams individually for a moment. Eclipses, especially solar eclipses, is a time of seeing things anew. When all of a sudden it's day becomes night and then day again in a short period of time, it resets or recalibrates the clock within you. You've probably heard stories about how the nocturnal animals will come out during an eclipse because they're confused about what's going on. So it's an opportunity for reboot, especially this one that we're encountering this August, an opportunity for reboot. And John isn't here, but he'll appreciate that we've already figured out the code word for August, which is opportunistic August, or opportunity August, if you like. So it starts off with an opportunity to take an energetic reboot. And the beauty of a reboot, if you're familiar with computers at all, when your computer is acting up, the first thing the tech person says is, have you rebooted? Have you turned it off and let it start up again by itself? Because most of the time that'll fix what ails your computer. Your physiological system is similar to that. And an opportunity for a reboot should be embraced deeply. Because you've each been clearing so many things within you and getting straight about so many things that there are lots of little, we'll call them programs, that are still running but they're not attached to anything. And a reboot lets them turn off and go into the trash can. We're using probably a bastardization of computer concepts in order to make our point, but we want you to get the sense that you've been letting go and letting go and letting go. And this eclipse energetic is an opportunity for you to actually acknowledge that these things are leaving your field. Sometimes you can let go, but they don't quite go all the way away. Mm-hmm. Just like with your computer, you can delete something, but it's still there until something else writes over it. So we're looking for a rewrite, a reboot, whatever language works best for you. And the energy of that is very alive at the beginning of August. Very, very, very alive. So as you use up these last 2 weeks of July, a key thing to keep in mind would be, what am I really ready to let go of? So that when the reboot energy hits, it can really move completely out. Okay? Yeah. So if you've had relationships and they don't serve you any longer and you're ready to let go of them, you're ready to leave them in another place. If you're unplugging from things that you're not finding yourself desiring to plug back into, if physically you're ready for transformation of ailments or concerns, if you just energetically realize that a high vibrational state really is serving you and you want to let go of your connections to low vibrational relationships or energies, if any of those things, and probably hundreds of others that we didn't list, are alive in you, use these next 2 weeks to prepare for the energetic assistance you're going to get to reboot or to let go of, really let go of. In the holding of the rope, and then letting go of that, and then moving into spiritual free agency, you lost that connection to things, but you didn't necessarily lose the connector. Yeah. Do you understand? Like, the hands that held the rope are still your hands. So what you want to do is let go of the energetic covering that might still be influenced or somehow corded to the job you had of holding the rope. This is probably the clearest way we have to explain that concept to you. It's really time to declare your free agency in the sense of, I'm ready to let go of those things that holding the rope kept me involved in. I no longer need to be caught up in, involved in, working with those energetics. And I'm really, really ready to make a commitment to those not being part of my field going forward.
And just being conscious is the key to releasing it, or is there a step?
Well, it's good to just be intentional about it. Like, wow, I know that I still have ties to Carl that I could really let go of, or ties to financial issues, or whatever it is that you have. You could say, I'm really ready for these to be gone, and I want this to be on the list of things that gets rebooted.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. Okay? So that's about the reboot of August 1st. Then we'll look at the Olympics.